Hi everybody, it's Penny from Wacko Witch Astrology, and I'm here today with my friend Benjamin Banks from Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. He is an Aquarius, and I met him at an art gallery, and he is a video game enthusiast. So he's going to sit here and he's going to tell us what video games we should be playing based on our astrological signs. So what's up, Benjamin?
Hey, it feels good to be here, man. I'm so excited. And like Penny said, like I met her at an art gallery at Gallery Ukensi in Norfolk. And yeah, like that's how we became friends. And she's an awesome person. And I'm happy that she asked me to be here on her channel. You know, I also had her as a guest on my channel too, Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, where we talk about nerd stuff and, you know, things in nerd culture, do interviews and all that type of stuff. And, you know, we did a video on the signs of the Death Note characters.
Yes.
So,
if you like Death Note, make sure you watch that video. And if you don't like Death Note, you should watch Death Note and then watch that video. I
highly agree with that. Death Note is one of the GOAT animes, as a lot of people like to say. They put it up there with Full Metal Alchemist. You know, it's one of those animes that came out, I want to say, back in 2008, 2007. And just the whole overall story of Death Note. I don't want to give too much away, but you know, it's about a guy named Light and a guy named L, and they're both playing the game of cat and mouse. And I was happy that Penny wanted to do that video because it was interesting to see, you know, the different astrological signs of the characters of the anime. So definitely recommend you guys heading over to my channel to check that video out.
Don't miss out on that. Okay, so we are going to go in order. We're going to talk a little bit about the personality of each sign and then what video games we think you should try. Okay, so first sign is Aries. Aries can be very competitive. They're smarter than they normally get credit for. They get stereotyped incorrectly a lot of times. They are very intelligent, and I think what they want in a video game is they want to feel like they accomplished something that is impressive and that they were able to do it in their own unique way. So maybe a game where they have like a lot of options.
See, now when you say that they're very competitive, I think of games that are fighting video games like Tekken, Street Fighter, because it's like if they're competitive, that means that they want to show that they have control over, you know, whoever they're fighting, whether it be a computer or a player. You know what I'm saying? You know, a game too that I would recommend where it's like they feel like that they're accomplishing something, even though this isn't a fighting game, but it does have fighting elements in it, would be God of War. Because it's just it's very satisfying. And like you said, Aries and, you know, the God of War Aries, that game is very satisfying when you kill your opponents, especially the different, you know, combinations that you can do with Kratos. And then also, too, it was just announced that God of War Ragnarok is coming out in, I think, either next year or 2023 on the PS5. So if you haven't seen any of the pictures or videos from that, highly recommended because the God of War games are very fun. And yeah, see, like that's what this is what we do here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks too on my podcast, where it's just like, you know, sometimes people will say something and then like they connect and everything, like Aries, God of War. I like that.
Yes.
I love where this is going right now.
God of War sounds like the perfect game. But also, I think Aries wants to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Okay.
So
Pokemon.
I think they should Pokemon battle me so they can try to see if they're very best, like no one ever was. So if you're an Aries, I challenge you to a Pokemon battle.
That's a Pokemon song.
Penny the astrologer would like to battle. Okay, so next we have Taurus, and Taurus is the sign of wealth. It's about physical existence and, of course, physical possessions and all of that stuff. So they like things that are beautiful and they like novelty items. So I feel like they would like games where they can collect things and accumulate wealth.
Now, I know that this game might sound like a game where, I mean, they can accumulate wealth. I'm going to go with The Sims because I feel like in this game, while it is time consuming, you know, it's rewarding when you see the stuff that you do collect, you know, whether it be money or by simply just doing different tasks in the game, so that way that your sim can either become smarter or you know, a good cook, good at cleaning. So I would recommend that. Something like Minecraft would be a game where it's like you can collect stuff in that, even though you're creating stuff on your own. also any RPG for real. Like if you're in the role playing games, when you have the option to go around, like Fallout, for example. Fallout is one where it's like sometimes you get missions where you have to go and collect stuff, and you can collect these items and you can either sell them so that way that you can make more money, or you can use these items and forge them with different material and whatnot, so that way that you can have powerful weapons, powerful armor, or unique perks. So those are the type of games that I would recommend.
Yeah, my mom's a Taurus and she used to play Farmville.
So
I think that has that similar vibe, but definitely you can improve and expand upon that type of game and play a better game than Farmville. I think you can find something better to it.
I don't even know if you can still play Farmville.
I don't even think you can, so Taurus needs a replacement, obviously. Okay, so next we have Gemini, and Gemini is a very intellectual sign. They want to be able to learn everything they possibly can about everything. When they find a subject they're interested in, they want to basically strip it down, get all the information out of it, and then they move on to the next thing. So Gemini is a really challenging one because
this one does seem like a hard one.
Yeah, like a lot of them, they'll just play pretty much every game they can get their hands on. They'll play it for a short while and then they'll move on to a different game. So what game would actually keep them entertained, where they feel like they can learn something, figure it out, and then move on to a different thing and figure out the next thing?
Now, does this require them beating the game or just playing it for a short period of time and then just moving on to the next thing?
I think Gemini is likely going to feel like they beat the game before they've actually beat it in most scenarios.
Now, for them, I would recommend a game like Mario Party or something that's very quick to play and it's easy to beat as well. Because I know that in Mario Party, sometimes you can get lucky where you land on one of the teleportation pads, and then once you land on it, it can literally take you to the end of the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also too, Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, games where, like you said, they want to get into it, they want to learn what they're doing, and then they want to feel like that they accomplished something. Like Diddy Kong Racing, for example, I just played it with some of my friends. It was my friend's birthday, and of course, I destroyed them. I always keep my Nintendo 64 controller in my trunk. There is a video on my Instagram and our TikTok channel where I pretty much just say, I always keep it on me, because you never know when you're going to need it. But those type of games, Diddy Kong Racing, it's there's so many shortcuts that you can find in the game, and also too, in this game you can either use a cart, you can use a plane, or you can use it's like a hover cart, not a hover cart, a hoverboat. There we go.
Yeah.
And I can. It doesn't matter if I'm in a car, if I'm in the hoverboat, or if I'm in the plane. I always win. I mean, it's just. I mean, everybody that's watching right now, you can't beat me in Diddy Kong Racing. I'm just putting that out there.
So if you're a Gemini, you have to beat him in Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, just like they have to beat you on Pokemon. Right. Yeah, and people. I had people saying that they want me to come to Canada and play against them. They want me to come to Texas. And I'm not the type of person.
You gotta come here.
Yeah, you gotta come to me. Everybody wants me to come to. No, I'm telling you. And this is a little side story, but when I was younger, right, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 came out, right, and I had $30 back in these times. Video games were $50, and I only needed $20 in order to get this game. So I went over to my friend's house, and I told him, I was just like, "Hey, bro, I got $20, you got $20. If I can beat you in Diddy Kong Racing, I get that $20. If you beat me, you get the $20. So I had something at stake because I only needed $20 to get this game. I destroyed them, and I got that $20. So that's when I say that nobody can beat me in Diddy Kong Racing, I mean that.
That's
nobody
what I
can
need
beat
to do with Pokemon.
Yeah, you should. You should. Yeah, because you could. You can beat Team Rocket.
Okay, one more suggestion for Gemini, just because I feel like there's some Geminis who really like trashy games. Sorry, but it might be true. Rumble Roses.
I've never played any of the Rumble Roses games, and I am a professional wrestler, and forgive me because I've never played any of those games, but from the videos that I've seen, they're fun. It's just I just never got into playing any of the Rumble Roses games. I was more into the SmackDown versus Raw. I'm guessing the reason why I never got into Rumble Roses was because it was a wrestling game and I didn't know what it was. Compared to like when I was younger, it's like everybody knows what WWE is. So it's like you're gonna play a WWE game.
Well, I have at least one Gemini friend who I think would enjoy looking at those Rumble Roses characters. Hey. So, okay, so next we have Cancer. Cancer is a really homey, family-oriented sign. A lot of them are very nostalgic. They like the old school graphics and games. Okay. And sometimes they like games that are based on comics that they read as a kid, or maybe remakes of older games, something that just brings back that nostalgia.
Okay. So pretty much retro games. See, now that list goes on. I mean, you do have retro games that have been not remade. Can you call it a remake?
When they're just made for a different console.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, Streets of Rage, right? Like, I'm sure everybody that's watching has, either played those games or they've seen videos of those games or they've seen like their older. Oh, not their old. Yeah, their older siblings or cousins playing those games. You know what I'm saying? Streets of Rage 4 just came out last year, and it has the retro vibe of the original Streets of Rage games, while it is updated. But the cool thing about it is they do have a setting so that way that you can change it to the retro mode. So it looks like you're playing it on the Sega Genesis back in the day. And also too, I mean, talking about retro stuff, you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is coming out next year, which is a sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time, and it's made by the same people who made Streets of Rage 4. So I'm already assuming that they're going to have a retro mode on that as well. So I definitely recommend Streets of Rage 4 because that is out now, and then next year when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out, I would recommend that. I can't really think of any other.
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. That was a really fun game that came out on the 360 and PS3 back in the day. And the only reason why it came back was because of fan demand on Twitter. After the creator of Scott Pilgrim, he had made a tweet saying that it would be cool for him to play the Scott Pilgrim game again. And I remember like everybody just went on that tweet and like they were tagging Ubisoft, and Ubisoft was just like, hey, we heard you guys, and they brought the game back. And I would highly recommend that as well because you can play it online with your friends too. And same thing with Ninja Turtles and Streets of Rage 4.
That's another thing.
You can play it online with your friends.
A lot of Cancers like to play games online because they like something that they can do with their friends, building a family. So MMORPGs. I feel like a lot of Cancers would like Cat Quest too. Have you played Cat Quest?
No, I do not know what that is.
It's a cute game. You should check it out. It's on PC and console. I don't know which consoles, but yeah. Okay, so next we have Leo.
I flicked my invisible hair.
For no reason. So Leos are very creative. Leo is the sign of childhood. A lot of Leos like me wind up playing the same games from our childhood over and over again. I started playing Pokemon when I was 7, and I still play Pokemon. I at least play the new games in addition to the old games. But Leo is also very creative. So I do feel like The Sims is a good game for Leos too.
That's what I was thinking of.
The Sims is so open-ended, and you can do anything you want in that game. And I think Leos are good at making up stories and making storylines, even if the game didn't already give that to you.
Okay. I would definitely recommend Final Fantasy because like how you said with Pokemon, like that's something that you've been playing ever since you were a kid. Final Fantasy is one of those games where, at least with the older ones, if you never play any of the older Final Fantasy games, I would recommend starting with Final Fantasy 7 since that was the big one that came out at the time back in the 90s and what pretty much launched Final Fantasy into the mainstream because before Final Fantasy 7, it's like the games, it's like they were good, but I feel like a lot of people didn't play them, or this might sound weird, but it was one of those games where it's just like the only people who played them were nerds. So it's just like nobody played those games. But then once Final Fantasy 7 came out and it was in the mainstream, and it was on the PlayStation, the PS1. Everybody just had to have it because of the graphics and whatnot, and every Final Fantasy game that has come out after that has always been a blast. So I would recommend all of those. My favorite is Final Fantasy 9. Like that's a game like how you said with Pokemon that came out 2 years ago. The remake, not the remake. the HD. There we go. The HD remake came out 2 years ago. And what was funny about that is that Kingdom Hearts came out around the same time, and I played Final Fantasy IX more than Kingdom Hearts 3 because Kingdom Hearts 3, while it was the third one in the series, they took out all of the Final Fantasy characters. And my whole thing is that if you built the game using Final Fantasy characters, then why would you remove them? Because what they said was that the games were big enough to not have Final Fantasy characters. But then they end up coming out with DLC later, and all the Final Fantasy characters are in the DLC. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people were mad about that. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend the Final Fantasy games because, you know, just of everything that you can do. Now, also, too, when you say, like, creating stuff, the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games are really fun. If you're a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, you'll love those games because not only do you get to fight alongside the characters from the Dragon Ball Z world, you actually get to create your own character, and then you get to you get to give your character like all of the Dragon Ball Z moves that you know and love, and which is awesome. So it's like if you want to have your guy be able to do the Kamehameha and the Gallic Gun, he can have both of those moves. So I highly recommend that.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds like something I'd like.
It's really fun. Highly recommend it.
All right, so next we have Virgo. Virgo is another very intelligent sign, and they like things that are cognitively challenging. They're not as show-offy as a lot of other people are, so I feel like they like things that are hard to figure out. A lot of them might like Portal.
I'll say like puzzle games.
Okay. And maybe Devil Survivor Overclocked too. So Devil Survivor Overclocked is another turn-based RPG, and you can actually like fuse these demons together. You can fuse demons together basically to create new demons, and it's kind of like Pokemon but with demons.
Okay. See, now for puzzle games, I really don't play a lot of those, but if I have the option to play it, like I'll play it. I want to say the last puzzle game that I played was it was called Super Puzzle Fighter, which was pretty much it was Street Fighter, but they turned the characters into like chibi characters, and it was just like Tetris. So unfortunately, like that's all that I can really.
Oh, I think Virgo would like that though. What's it called again?
It's called Super Puzzle Fighter.
Super Puzzle Fighter.
I don't know if it's out on the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PS4. It might be, but this game originally it came out on the PS1, and then it came out on the 360 and the PS3 as a HD remake.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a possibility that it is out there, but if not, I highly recommend checking out this game because if you like Street Fighter characters, it has your favorite Street Fighter characters up there. There's also a Sonic the Hedgehog game too. I think it's called Dr. Robotnik's something. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, that's a puzzle game too. I can't. Like, I really don't play puzzle games, so
leave a comment below letting us know what game he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, leave a comment. Let us know some more puzzle games because. I mean, like, I can only tell you what I've played. I know what Candy Crush is one, Bejeweled, but, you know, I feel like everybody knows what those games are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry. Don't shoot me.
All right. So, next we have Libra. Libra is a sign of harmony. They like to be able to take their time, and they like to have the right to make their own decisions about how they think things should work. I don't think they like feeling like they're being rushed in a game. And similar to Aquarius, they do want to be able to feel like they're doing things in their own time, but they like to specifically be able to make certain decisions in the game.
Yeah, so that right there just sounds like any RPG game that gives you the option to do your own thing. Now, and I know that I had mentioned Final Fantasy earlier. Now, Final Fantasy, like, that's more of your traditional RPG where it's like they do give you options where you can make your own choices, but the choices, they really don't affect anything. So what I'm going to lean more towards are games like The Walking Dead, the Telltale games, The Walking Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are the type of games where it's just like your choice. It pretty much determines the outcome of what episode that you're going with. So it's just like you can either choose to let this person live or help this person, and whatever choice you make, it determines, like I said, the outcome of the game. And with the Telltale games, there is a total of four Walking Dead games, and all of the stories are connected. There is one game about Michonne, but it has nothing to do with the other 4 games.
Okay.
But I mean, I would still recommend it because if you don't like, not if you don't like, but if you like Michonne from the Walking Dead show, then I highly recommend that. But Until Dawn is another game. That's a horror game where you have to make your own choices as well, and you can collect stuff in the game too. But I feel like games where it gives you the choice to determine what's going to happen next compared to making a choice and that choice doesn't even matter. You're just making
that can be kind of annoying.
You're just making a choice to make a choice. There's another game too, something where you can rewind time, and I'm mad that I can't remember what it's called, but
rewind time. All right, leave a comment below.
Leave a comment. I'm mad, but it came out before the storm. I'm mad I can't remember what the game is called, but
oh, no worries.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Go ahead and move on.
I think you already gave like 3 or 4 for Libra. But next is Scorpio. So Scorpio is the sign that represents birth and death and rebirth. And a lot of them are into like the gory horror stuff and like the nasty, scary sides of life that I myself prefer to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so definitely, like I said about Until Dawn, I would put that into that category too because I just showed Kendall a video of when I was.
That's my husband.
Yeah, that's her husband. I'm sorry, I say that was her.
Some of them know, some of them don't.
Okay, all right, that's her husband, and I showed him this video that I recorded from Until Dawn, and he jumped, and that's the reaction that this game will give you because when I played the game, I jumped too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another thing that I recommend is when you play horror games, play with the lights off, so that way you get more of that creepy horror feel.
Ugh.
But Resident Evil, the Resident Evil 2 remake, I recommend that. Resident Evil 7. I haven't played Resident Evil 8 Village yet, and I kind of feel like I didn't really hear anything scary about that game because more people were crushing over the giant vampire lady D. I don't know how to say her name.
Well, Scorpio's into that too.
But you know what? Remember those memes?
I didn't see that. I don't. I think I did.
With she was like the 8-foot lady with the hat on, and she had the big things, and like everybody was just like, yeah, like that's my vampire mommy. Yeah, but yeah.
There you go, Scorpio. Find your vampire mommy today. Okay, next we've got Sagittarius. Sagittarius loves to explore. They like to discover new things. So I feel like they're going to like games like Terraria, where you get to discover a new world. And also this game my family just started playing called Subnautica, where you get dropped into an alien planet, into the ocean of an alien planet. I'm going to have to turn that off. Sorry about that. But yeah, and then you get to discover the new life and everything there.
So a game that I would recommend would be The Outer Worlds, which is made by the original team that did the Fallout games. Oblivion. Obesidon. There we go. Sorry about that.
Obesidon? What's that?
That's the company that made the Fallout games originally, and then Bethesda, they ended up getting the rights to creating the Fallout games. But The Outer Worlds is a game where it's like you can go to all of these different planets and you can explore stuff. It has very Guardians of the Galaxy vibes to it, and it's a funny game. And it's another game too where you can make all of your decisions. Mm-hmm. Like the decisions that you make affect the game. If you want to save the galaxy, you save the galaxy. If you don't want to save the galaxy, then you don't save the galaxy. But I do love the fact that you can go exploring and you can collect all these different creatures and minerals and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's
what's the name of the game again?
The Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a really good game. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. All right, so next we have Capricorn. Capricorn is a very goal-oriented sign. They like to have something that they have spent a long time being able to accomplish that they can then be proud of. And I was at GameStop yesterday, and I was looking at this game called Civilization. I've never actually played it, but
Same.
I have my moon in Capricorn, and I've always wanted to try it. So I think that could be one for Capricorn. What do you think?
Yeah, I've never played that game either, but I know it's been around for a long time. I want to say they got like 5 or 6 of them now. But a game like that where it's like, they feel like they accomplished something and they play it for a long time. For me, it would definitely be Dragon Quest XI. And the reason why I say that game is because of the amount of time that I had put into it. I want to say I put over like 160 hours into the game, and I got all of the trophies for this game just because of how beautiful the game looked, the music, just going around to all of these different dungeons and exploring. And, you know, when I say that I got that platinum trophy for it, I felt accomplished after I did everything. And I'm one of those type of people where it's like once I do everything that I can in the game, then I kind of just move on. Another game that's like that too would be the Spider-Man game that came out on the PS4 back in 2018. Like that's one of those type of games where it's just like you're playing as Spider-Man and everything you can pretty much do everything to get all the trophies in the game and it'll be worth it. Like there's never a moment in the game where it's like you're going to be bored or tired playing it. So those are 2 games I recommend.
Okay, so next we have Aquarius. You're an Aquarius. What do you think Aquarians like?
For Aquarius, I would say that they like adventure games. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh. I think it makes sense why you were saying you like adventure games earlier when we were talking.
So, adventure games. One of my favorite video games of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. And the reason why I like that game is because of everything that you can do in it. It was the sequel to Ocarina of Time that came out. They both came out on the Nintendo 64. And I just felt like there was so much more that you could do in this game compared to Ocarina of Time. And just the visuals of the game, you know, the time traveling, all of the different masks that they had in the game. I would recommend that. That game you can get on the 3DS. But if I could recommend like an adventure game that is current, it would definitely be The Last of Us 2. That came out last year, and that game has won so many awards, Game of the Year awards and whatnot. And just the story, like it's a very sad story, but it does have its moments of happiness and joy. But just being able to go exploring and, you know, just trying to survive.
All right.
You know, and it's so...
okay, it's counting down. We've only got 2 minutes left, so we got to do Pisces now.
Hey, I'm sorry. I talk a lot.
Okay, Pisces. I was trying to figure out what the heck do Pisces like, because I have some Pisces friends that I used to play World of Warcraft with. I have some Pisces friends who like shooter games, and the common theme between my Pisces friends who play video games is they usually like games that they can zone out while playing.
I mean, like you said, like shooters, because those are the type of games where it's just like you just zone out and you're just shooting people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you're not really...
don't have to think to do that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like anything Call of Duty, I'm trying to think what other shooter.
I like Halo. Halo
is another shooter game that's out. Like Call of Duty and Halo are going to be like your top of the line shooting games. Like there's other shooting games that come out, but like they don't match up against Call of Duty and Halo.
Left 4 Dead was kind of fun.
Oh, that was my favorite game.
Yeah.
But they are coming out with the same team that did Left 4 Dead. It's called Back 4 Blood. That's coming out I think this year or next year. So I recommend that. It's pretty much Left 4 Dead.
Back 4 Blood.
It's Back 4 Blood.
Come back for blood, y'all.
Yep.
So make sure you are subscribed to Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. I will put a link in the description below. And make sure you watch the video that we did on his channel where we analyze the characters of Death Note and talk about what we think their astrological signs are or might be. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me, Benjamin.
You're welcome.
It was good to have you.
Hey, it was fun being up here. Thank you for having me up here. Hey, make sure you follow me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And then Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is the podcast. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And my YouTube channel at Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Thank you again for having me up here.
All right,
it was
thanks
awesome.
for joining me. Take care, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.